现在是2024年。
It's now 10:30 in the morning on September 16th, 2024. Let's take a look at how crowded this year's Hong Kong jewelry show is. Over here, it's not too bad, but this section is relatively quieter. The doors opened at 10 a.m., but so far, there aren't many people. It's not as busy as it was earlier this year. The video shows that on the first day of the Hong Kong Jewelry Show, the Pearl Hall had been open for half an hour, but it remained quiet, with few visitors. Compared to previous years, the difference is significant. According to reports, the September Hong Kong Jewelry and Gem Fair is an international event for the jewelry industry, featuring over 40 group exhibits and themed product pavilions. These include the highly anticipated Fine Gem Pavilion, Fine Design Pavilion, and International Premier Pavilion. There's also the Core Pavilion, showcasing exquisite jewelry and gemstone products from Hong Kong. One part of the exhibition runs from September 16th to 20th at the Asia World Expo located near Hong Kong International Airport. The second part takes place at the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center from September 18th to 22nd. The Hong Kong Jewelry Show has long been seen as a glittering stage in the global jewelry industry. The event attracts jewelers, designers, and collectors from around the world, displaying countless breathtaking pieces. However, in recent years, this grand event has faced unprecedented challenges. Although the show remains dazzling, the enthusiasm of visitors and buyers seems to have significantly decreased.
Here's my take on the Hong Kong exhibition. In 3 words, not worth seeing. First, there were fewer people than before. Second, the prices from sellers were much higher. As someone who frequently visits mining areas, I could get items for about 100 yuan there. But here, they're priced at around $100. Even after bargaining for a 30 to 40% discount, it still costs about 400 yuan, which is far more expensive than first-hand items from the mines. Many people in the industry ask me, Mr. Zhang, I'm new here. Should I visit the Hong Kong exhibition? Can I find good deals? The truth is, you can find some items, like vintage Japanese jewelry, but you need the skills to spot genuine items. It's also important to have good connections with suppliers who have quality goods. While the market is full of average items, finding high-quality, reasonably priced pieces requires some searching.
The man noticed that not only was the crowd at this year's Hong Kong Jewelry Show smaller, but the prices were not as affordable compared to sourcing directly from the mines. Today is the last day of the show, and I'm pretty much wrapping up as well. There aren't many people here, and this part of the exhibition center rarely attracts retail customers. Let's take a look at how things are going today. It's already 10:30 in the morning, but there's hardly anyone inside. Despite the low attendance, this actually worked out in the buyer's favor. One woman found that looking for bargains at the show became a good opportunity. Because the economy has been in decline, many people are hesitant about whether or not to attend this year's Hong Kong Jewelry Show. After all, attending the show comes with high costs. Flights and hotels are expensive. But my experience over the past few days has convinced me it's worth coming. In the past, every booth would be packed with people, making it difficult to even approach, let alone negotiate prices. When I tried to buy loose stones, it was always a struggle with the foreign sellers. It was impossible to reach an agreement until the very last moment, and even then, you couldn't get to the bottom price. But now, they're afraid of losing any potential customers, so they'll give you a very fair price right away, worrying that you might walk away. They're very enthusiastic and open to negotiating. You can casually ask about prices, and they'll be very straightforward. The prices for both gemstones and finished products are far more reasonable than before. Since jewelry is something that needs to move, many sellers are offering prices you would never have seen in the past. On July 2nd, the Hong Kong Census and Statistics Department released its latest retail sales figures for jewelry, watches, and valuable gifts. It showed a decline of 21.4% in May, marking the 4th consecutive month of decline. Overall retail sales in Hong Kong fell 11.5% year-on-year in May, and the cumulative value of jewelry sales for the first 5 months was 22.2 billion Hong Kong dollars, down 10.6% compared to the same period last year. In May, jewelry accounted for 13.1% of total retail sales, a stark contrast to the peak of 24% in 2013, when annual jewelry sales reached 118 billion Hong Kong dollars. Earlier reports mentioned that on March 2nd of this year, just 10 minutes before the opening of the Hong Kong International Jewelry Show, fewer than 100 people were waiting to enter. It took less than 10 minutes to verify admission, a far cry from the bustling scenes of last year's show, where attendees had to wait over an hour to get inside. According to official information, the 40th Hong Kong International Jewelry Show, hosted by the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, ran for 5 consecutive days, starting on February 29th at the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center. The 10th Hong Kong International Diamond, Gem, and Pearl Show opened on February 27th at the Asia World Expo, running until March 2nd. This was also the first time since the pandemic that Hong Kong resumed its 2 shows, 2 venues format, attracting over 4,000 exhibitors from 44 countries and regions. As the largest world-class jewelry show at the beginning of 2024, these dual exhibitions were considered a barometer of the diamond and jewelry market this year. However, judging by the number of attendees, this year's show lacked the vibrancy of previous ones. The once popular live-streamed shopping events also lost much of their appeal. Gone were the crowded halls and the frenzy of buyers. Furthermore, as China's economy slows down, along with a weak job market and a sluggish real estate sector, consumer spending has taken a major hit. Hong Kong's luxury shopping centers are also no longer bustling with activity. In Tsim Sha Tsui, the neoclassical 1881 heritage luxury shopping mall, once a favorite among Chinese tourists, is now far less lively. The mall used to host many international luxury brands such as Cartier, Tiffany & Company, Montblanc, Piaget, Chopard, Vacheron Constantin, and Rolex. But these days, the mall is neither crowded nor able to attract the same high-profile brands. According to Bloomberg, only 3 out of more than 30 storefronts at the mall, owned by Hong Kong billionaire Li Ka-shing, are currently occupied. The mall's colonnaded courtyard is now eerily quiet. Additionally, on Russell Street in Causeway Bay, a fast food restaurant themed around Transformers replaced the Burberry store. A real estate agent familiar with the deal revealed to Bloomberg that the restaurant's rent was 89% lower than what the British fashion brand had been paying. Edwin Lee, founder of Seville's fund management, said, "Hong Kong's luxury market was once paradise, but now it has plunged into an abyss. The days when tourists would come to Hong Kong and make impulsive luxury purchases are gone." Official data shows that compared to pre-pandemic levels, the number of Chinese tourists visiting Hong Kong has decreased, and their average spending is now only half of what it used to be. In the first 7 months of this year, sales of luxury goods were 42% below the level in 2018. The decline in consumer spending and the closure of stores have deepened the sense of unease. Currently, Hong Kong's property prices are at an 8-year low, while office vacancy rates are near record highs. The Hong Kong stock market is one of the worst-performing markets globally. The government's crackdown on dissent has accelerated the exodus of young residents, further shaking international confidence in Hong Kong. Gary Ng, senior economist at Natixis, said, "The decline of Hong Kong's luxury goods industry is a sign of the current economic challenges, which will lead to slower economic growth and job losses. This means the positive cycle of income growth, wealth effects, and corporate profits feeding into consumption is no longer effective." With China's economy in a slump, it's not just the luxury goods and jewelry sectors in Hong Kong that are struggling. Many jewelry and gold shops on the mainland are also closing down. From April to June this year, mainland stores saw a net closure of 91 stores, and in the first quarter, the company reduced its mainland presence by 89 stores, a total to 180 closures within 6 months, averaging 1 store closure per day. Other jewelry brands are also facing tough times. According to a report by 21st Century Business Herald on September 6, Chow Tai Fook's second quarter performance showed a significant 20% drop in retail sales compared to the previous year. Mainland China saw an 18.6% decline in sales, while sales in Hong Kong, Macau, and other markets fell by 28.8%. Both Chow Tai Fook and Chow Sang Sang attributed the downturn to rising gold prices. Chow Tai Fook noted that in the second quarter of 2024, The first quarter of its 2025 fiscal year, same-store sales in mainland China, Hong Kong, and Macau all fell due to the macroeconomic environment. The high price of gold negatively impacted demand for gold jewelry, a trend seen across the entire industry. During the reporting period, same-store sales at Chow Tai Fook's direct stores and franchise stores in mainland China decreased by 26.4% and 19.1% respectively. In Hong Kong and Macau, same-store sales dropped by 30.8%, with Hong Kong down 27.4% and Macau down 41.3%. Chao Sang Sang also reported poor performance. On August 27th, the company announced that both revenue and net profit had declined in the first half of the year. Total operating revenue from its ongoing businesses dropped 13% year-on-year to 11.3 billion Hong Kong dollars, while net profit attributable to shareholders fell 36% to 526 million Hong Kong dollars. The report stated that in the first half of the year, the company opened 25 new stores and closed 47. Chao Sang Sang explained that the surge in gold prices in March and April led to the 24% drop in same-store sales across mainland China, Hong Kong, and Macau by the end of the second quarter. According to Huaxia Times, Chao Sang Sang sales in mainland China, Hong Kong, and Macau for gold jewelry, inlaid jewelry, and watches saw declines in the first half of 2024, with decreases of up to 15%. Chao Sang Sang attributed the overall 13% decline in its jewelry and watch sales in 2024 to weak demand in mainland China, Hong Kong, and Macau, while its retail division's performance dropped 30% year-on-year. At the shareholders' meeting in May, Chao Sang Sang Group chairman and general manager Chao Wing-sing noted that the rapid rise in gold prices this year has dampened consumer demand, leading to worse-than-expected sales. He also mentioned that it's difficult to predict future gold price trends. With gold prices soaring, the investment appeal of gold jewelry has weakened, causing many consumers to take a wait-and-see approach. Some gold shops and markets in mainland China have seen a cooling of sales. A merchant at the Shuibei Gold Market in Shenzhen told Huaxia Times, "This year, most of the customers are those with specific needs, like buying gold for weddings. With gold prices hitting new highs, there are fewer large-scale investors. Consumers are becoming more cautious and are mostly holding off on purchases." In addition to Chow Tai Fook and Chao Sang Sang, Luk Fook Holdings reported that its retail revenue from April to June fell by 23% year-on-year, with retail sales in Hong Kong down 31% and mainland China down 3%. During this period, Luk Fook's global store network saw a reduction of 99 stores, with 102 stores closed on the mainland. On July 18th, Luk Fook announced that first quarter total retail value had fallen 18% year-on-year, with overall retail revenue down 23%. The company also closed 108 stores in mainland China during the same period. On September 15th, Hunan Daily reported that a row of deserted gold shops in a high-end mall in Hangzhou is a vivid expression of the current cold wave in the market. On the weekend, sales staff from these gold shops were standing at the entrance, either chatting with each other or greeting passing customers. Song, the manager of a franchise store with 2 gold shops in Jiaxing and Hangzhou, said that in previous years, holidays like Labor Day, Mother's Day, and the Qixi Festival were peak seasons for gold sales. Before 2019, when the market was strong, it was normal to sell tens or even hundreds of thousands of yuan worth of gold in a single day. Song said, in the half-month period around Labor Day, sales could reach 4 to 5 million yuan, but now it's barely a fraction of that, with sales not even reaching 1 million yuan. Song added, for gold jewelry, gold is the raw material. When gold prices only rise slightly, consumers can still justify buying jewelry as an investment. But once the price hit 700 yuan per gram, the cost of gold jewelry exceeded consumer expectations, causing a sharp drop in sales. Poor sales have also led to the closure of some brick-and-mortar stores. According to China Business News, a leasing manager at a large mall in Luohu District, Shenzhen, said that due to poor sales over the past 6 months, some branded gold jewelry stores have decided to close down. Recently, the chain gold shop Lai Rui Jinyu Jewelry suddenly closed all 8 of its stores in Fuzhou. According to Straight News, Lai Rui Jinyu had attracted many investors with promises of high-interest gold custody. Some individual stores collected over 10 million yuan in investments. Most of the investors were elderly, with investments ranging from tens of thousands to millions of yuan. On the afternoon of September 9th, the doors of Lai Rui Jinyu's Wangzhuang store were shut, leaving many locals anxiously waiting outside. One woman, Auntie Chen, shared that in August 2023, she had invested 3 million yuan with Lai Rui Jinyu's Dongda store to buy gold. The store staff had told her that after purchasing gold at the daily price, she could place it under their custody and receive monthly interest payments of about 14%. At the end of the term, for every 100 grams of gold purchased, an additional 6 grams would be given. As a result, Auntie Chen and her husband continued to invest more. Unfortunately, the sudden closure of the store left her with significant financial losses. Reports indicated that the Wangzhuang store's counters were completely empty, and many customers who had spent tens or even hundreds of thousands of yuan were left with nothing. Some employees revealed that they too had invested huge amounts in the store's jewelry, but have since been unable to reach the company's top management. Together, employees from the 8 closed stores had invested more than 20 million yuan. A staff member from the Wangzhuang store said that the company had promised a 14% return on gold custody investments, which sounded very attractive. They personally invested over 1 million yuan, but can no longer contact their superiors. One employee from Lai Rui Jinyu mentioned that the company specifically targeted elderly customers as they had more idle money and were lured by the promise of high returns. In the past few months, some customers faced delays when trying to cash out their investments. By August, the company had completely stopped fulfilling requests to redeem gold or cash. Several elderly customers said they never received the physical gold they purchased. They said, "They told us the interest rate was much higher than the banks, and that's what convinced us to invest. Now we realize we were scammed." The money they invested was supposed to be their retirement savings. The incident has sparked significant public concern online. Comments included, "They closed the store overnight. Is this a case of running away?" And "There's no free lunch. People always think they can get something for nothing." Some expressed frustration with these recurring scams, where businesses close down and disappear with investors' money. Others lamented, "The people being scammed are losing everything. They worked hard all their lives, and now their retirement savings are gone." Lai Rui Jinyu had 8 stores, including locations at Wangzhuang, Hudong, Dongda, Xihu, Xiannan Shopping Mall, Jingshan, Rongqiao, and Wenquan. All of these stores are now closed. Public records show that Fuzhou Lai Rui Jinyu Jewelry Store Company Limited is 100% owned by Fujian Lai Rui Jiunuo Jewelry Company Limited, with the same legal representative for both entities. The company's business scope includes retail and wholesale of jewelry and jewelry recycling and repair services, but it does not include gold custody. Ms. Li, who works a white-collar job in mainland China, shared that after the recent rise in gold prices, there have been increasing reports of businesses closing down or selling fake products. Many gold shops have closed down, especially franchises. In previous years, most closures were independently owned stores, but now the majority are franchise operations. She believes that the risks associated with gold shops have been underestimated. She said, "People know that financial products carry risks, so they hesitate to invest in them. Many, especially elderly people, prefer to keep their savings in the bank for safety. But with gold, people aren't aware of the risks. It turns out that even with gold, these shops can still run away with your money."